So today I have prepared to summarize for you the course outline for the undergraduate biochemistry. This is the general biochemistry for undergraduate student. The course outline some of the topics you expect, and then that would be the topics that we are going to talk about with time more on them. And yes, comments will be allowed, and of course like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And so for today I'm sharing with you that the course outline. Yes, that's my name. Aku Susan Langoya. So before we go into that, let's first know what biochemistry is. So what is biochemistry? What do you think is biochemistry? As of you, what do you think is biochemistry? Yes, biochemistry comes from two words: bios, which mean life, and then chemistry, of course, is another word. Is combination of two words. So since bios mean life, biochemistry then is a branch of science that deals with the study of the chemical basis of life. That means the chemistry of living matters at the cellular and molecular level in living beings. So we are talking about the chemistry at the molecular and cellular level. Biochemistry is a special branch of organic chemistry that deals with matters inside the living cells called the protoplasm. So basically that is biochemistry. And usually we have two branches of chemistry. We have inorganic and organic. And according to studies, they found out that many living matters compose of organic compounds. And so that's why in biochemistry we are more concerned about organic chemistry, because we believe they are the basis of life. Like every living component composed of a lot of organic compounds. So basically biochemistry is the chemistry of life, but the chemistry here is majorly organic chemistry. And amongst the topics that you will get in general biochemistry, we shall start with talking about the cell structures, because everything starts from the cells. The cell is the basic unit of life. So we start by knowing the cell's component. Like in the diagram there, you're seeing the structure of animal cells. We are dealing basically with the animal cells because we are in the clinical chemistry. We are not going to emphasize so much about plants, but you need to, of course, by the basis of maybe O level and A level, you would have appreciated the cell structure of plants from that of animal, from that of bacteria. You would have appreciated. So that is the cell structure for animal cells. We are going to be talking about it into detail with time. And After that, we shall talk about the building blocks. You notice I told you biochemistry is about organic chemistry, and among the organic chemistry, we talk about homologous series and some organic compounds. So carbohydrates, amino acid, polypeptides and protein, lipids and related compounds, nucleotide and nucleic acid, all these are biomolecules. So the carbohydrates are formed from monosaccharide. Like you can see some of the structures, they are monosaccharide. This is a disaccharide that we have drawn there. And then amino acids are the one which form proteins. You can see two amino acid binding there. They form by dipeptides. And that is how proteins are formed, when many of the amino acid binds up. And then these structures is trying to talk about lipids. This is particularly the tags, the triacyl glyceride. Of course, we have many other types of lipid. You will understand them with time. And then this is how the nucleotides are formed, the nucleic acid, the RNA and DNA. We shall talk about them. So the building blocks are what make up those compounds. Like carbohydrate, they are by the... Before you go to talk about carbohydrate, you would have first talked about the monosaccharide, and that is the building block. Before you go to talk about proteins, we shall talk about amino acids. Before we talk about lipids, we shall start with talking about glycerol and fatty acids. And then nucleotide, like that. We shall talk about their building blocks, then later we go straight into their structures or the many other things about the bigger compound which we call polymers. We shall talk about them. And the next topic also that is supposed to be captured in biochemistry is about structures and functions of biological membrane, including signaling and transport of molecules. So we shall also tackle this. We shall also talk about enzymes. We shall talk about the kinetics and the regulation. And other topics is water, pH scale and buffers. We shall talk about water, like the importance of water, the chemical formula of water, the properties of water. And then in one of the property, it will relate you to pH. And then we shall talk about the pH scale. We shall describe for you just like you're seeing in those diagrams. Then we shall talk about the buffer system of the body, talking about the bicarbonate buffer system, talk about the protein buffer system, talk about the phosphate buffer system. That's under the buffer. Then we shall also talk about acid-base balance. So there we shall also do calculations and many other things. And the next topic, we shall talk deep about bioenergetics. That's where we shall give in. This one is now when we are introducing metabolism. You know, metabolism is the sum of all chemical reactions in the body, enzymatic chemical reactions in the body. And so before going deep into it, you would love to know about certain concepts of energy. So free energy chain, the Gibbs free energy, the energy phosphate compounds, the electron transport chain, oxidative phosphorylation and superoxide. And then continuing with now metabolism, the energy concept would have introduced to you metabolism. Then now you go deep into those biomolecules to talk about. Now you start like carbohydrate. Before you go into metabolism of carbohydrate, you would have talked about the digestion and the absorption, and then the significance and their interrelations to the metabolic pathways. So we shall talk about the metabolism of all those biomolecules we listed: carbohydrate, lipids, protein, and then also the nucleotides. And then amongst other things, as you discuss their metabolism, you also discuss the disorders and the regulation in the system. So we shall also talk about biosynthesis and regulation of heme. Just like you've seen there, heme, how it is broken down and how it is formed. This diagram is showing how it is broken down, the step in breaking down heme, and we shall describe it more. And then lastly, we shall talk about introduction to hormones and the hormonal regulation. This is already even part of we shall talk about hormones and nutrition. So the hormones, some of them, like we have insulin, glucagon, thyroid hormone, catecholamine, the sex steroid hormone. Those are the hormones that we shall be discussing with time. And then we shall also bring in nutrition as a broad topic. Like you talk about those malnutrition. You talk about overnutrition, and then undernutrition. Under overnutrition, we shall talk about obesity, certain diseases like diabetes. And then under undernutrition, we talk about marasmus, kwashiorkor, those diseases that come with the abnormality in nutrition. So that is generally it. So we in generally, I can summarize that 2 semesters of biochem. In the first semesters is all about structures and the importance of those biomolecules, knowing their structures, knowing general about them. Then in second semester, it is metabolism, knowing how they are broken down and how they are formed. And then also talking about nutrition. So that is it. Once again, thank you, and please don't forget to give in your comment right there, like, share, and please subscribe. Click on that button for subscribing, and thank you very much. That is my contact. Thank you very much for listening to me. Yes, nice time.